Hello, my fellow flawless, limitless, sexy, sassy, saucy HBICs. How are you on this lovely morning, afternoon, or evening? How are you all? I hope you're all doing fabulous. I hope you're all choosing to be the versions of yourself that have exactly what you want. I hope that's what you're doing. You better be doing that. If you call yourself an HBIC of this community, you better be choosing. You better be choosing. If you would like to work with me in any way, shape, or form, all of that information is in the drop box below, including the information about my 3 channel memberships. Most importantly, the VIP, the Advanced Manifestors Group. That is the group where we deep dive manifestation. It is also the inspiration for today's video. Thank you very much. As well as my hot seat group. It's part of that inspiration. Yes, if you join the VIP group, that is where we deep dive everything. We're going to read all the books. And one of the books we are reading today is why I'm making this video. So if you're interested in expanding your knowledge and awareness about manifestation, I highly suggest you join the Advanced Manifestors. Also, if you were considering joining one of the other groups, the Advanced Manifestors automatically gives you free access to the other channel memberships, like the exclusive lives. That's the group where all we hear is success stories and tips and tricks to keep you motivated and judged throughout your week. And the hot seat group, that's where we get together and you can get your bum right into that hot seat and ask me anything you want. It does come with a trigger warning because we're going to talk circumstances, but you can get into the hot seat and ask me any question. That's why it's called the hot seat. Advanced Manifestors gives you free access to that as well. Just saying. So I highly, highly encourage you to join. Today's hot seat group was really, really good. For the group that comes with the trigger warning, we had lots and lots of downloads and a slight rampage. And they are recorded for what it's worth. All 3 channel memberships are recorded. And the VIP Advanced Manifestors have access to all 3 channel membership recordings. The hot seat members, they only have access to the hot seat group recordings. And after that, there is no access. So I'm saying the VIP is the best bang for your buck. Okay? Best bang for your buck. So, because in the Advanced Manifestors, what we do there is we are reading. We're reading everything, Neville Goddard and any other inspirational author out there that has discussed manifesting, conscious manifesting in any way, shape, or form. And we are now beginning the Neville Goddard side of the house. And as of course I have read everything by Neville Goddard, I am still going to go back and reread. This will be like my 5th or 6th time reading Neville Goddard. When I notice, I'm just saying his name. I'm not saying which book because we're reading all of them, all of the books. So because of that, I am rereading it with my membership group because that makes me feel, yes, it's my group, and yes, I've already read it, but this makes me feel like I'm reading along with the HBICs, so like a community type feeling. I want to feel it. That's why I made the groups, right? So in the reading, I was actually cheating. I was reading a week ahead, and I was reading about Neville and his experiences with Abdullah. And in the hot seat group today, we had a lot of talk about, noticing when, what you're manifesting and then what appears in the 3D and how to view what happens in the 3D. And by how to view, I mean, how do you differentiate between what is just a circumstance happening or what feels like a circumstance happening against what you're manifesting versus knowing it's not just real life happening to you per se. And why things happen while we're manifesting. And that could be good or bad. But as I was reading, and again, this is my 5th or 6th time reading this particular book for what it's worth. For what it's worth. It's one of the videos where I won't be editing. We're reading Awakened Imagination right now. And of course, I want to share something with you. Every state is already there as mere possibility. As long as you think of it but is overpoweringly real when you think from it. Thinking from the end is the way of Christ. Now, yes, we talked about states of consciousness all the time, but this sparked something inside of me that made me remember. And my gosh, I know not everyone may have had a very free childhood where you had free time to imagine. I know not everybody had that experience, but you have the ability now. You have the ability now to use your imagination and to think about any version of yourself that you want to be. Every state exists now, right now. That means every version of you is available to you now. You are every version of yourself now. But your awareness eyeballs can only highlight one state or version of self at a time. So when you are believing that you are not the version of yourself that you want to be, when you don't like what reality looks like, you've got yourself highlighting in awareness a version of yourself that it's time to change. It's time to let that version of you go. It's time to die to that self and move to the next state. And we move through states constantly, constantly. Like as in millisecond, constantly. It is not and doesn't have to be a long-winded process to move from state to state. It's a conscious choice to move from one state to another. And I think we look at states like they are some difficult technique to work yourself into. And it's not that at all. It is a decision. I am consciously this self or I am consciously that self. Yes, it is so simplistic to move through states. And I was sitting here and I was thinking, what other kind of an example can I give to make it obvious just how easy this is? And this is what came to my mind. And I've said it in other videos that whenever you're not sure what an answer is, or you're not sure what decision to make, or like me just now, you just want to understand something or you want a better example to come into your mind. Ask the I am that is within you. Ask the God, the universe, the higher power, the source energy, the moonbeams that is in you right now at this moment, who your true self is, which is pure, unadulterated consciousness. Ask, and the answer will come. And the answer came within moments of me asking. And I asked, what could be a better example to really make it clear to everyone that number one, manifestation is real. Number two, that it is easy to hop in and out of any state you want. And this is what popped into my mind. Do you know, as a child, do you remember the first time you played a game or imagined being any different person that you wanted to be? Example here, when I was very little, I loved to play either a couple of things. I liked to play house. And when I would play house, that meant that I was the mom, my strawberry shortcake baby dolls, not just the little baby dolls. I mean, the full-size baby dolls that you could squeeze their stomach and they would blow kisses that smelled like whoever they were. Like the strawberry shortcake baby blew the kisses of strawberries. Get it? But I would, as a child, play the mom. And they were my babies. And I would pretend with my imagination that whether it was my bedroom, whether it was the family living room, that was my house. It was my house. And I imagined in my house. Came naturally. Sometimes, because there's a lot of school teachers in my family, sometimes I would play school. And that meant I was a teacher. And if I had friends over, they were freaking students because I was always the boss. I'm sure that's shocking. I was always the boss. And I wanted to correct papers. So I would play teacher. Now I can't remember the first time or ever that anyone took the time to explain to me how to play, how to imagine, how to pretend that I'm the school teacher, or I'm playing the mommy, or I'm playing one of my strawberry shortcake dolls, or I'm playing one of my Barbie dolls. No one ever sat me down and said, you are a baby and I'm going to give you toys and you're going to pretend that you are the character of your toys. That didn't happen. And I doubt it happened for you. Meaning, as children, we came here as babies, excuse my wording, as newborns to babies, to toddlers, to children. We came here with our mind already programmed or already with the knowledge on how to use imagination. You came here with that knowledge. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you are a parent, did you ever sit your child down and teach them to pretend? Teach them to play. Now I understand, let's go logical for a minute. Of course, I'm a mother and I remember purchasing toys for my son. But I didn't have to sit him down and say, now we're going to pretend. We're going to pretend this is your car that you're pushing along. That came naturally to him. Of course, I had my moments of playing cards with him. But I didn't have to teach him how we're going to pretend now. Or when he received a police officer play uniform and he put it on, I didn't have to direct him on how to pretend he's a police officer. He did it on his own. It came naturally because he too came here fully equipped with how to use his imagination. Where the parental or caregivers who raised us, where their input came in was when we were first told that what we were imagining, what we were playing wasn't real. That's where the conditioning came in. That's what we learned as human, 3D human muggles. Your imagination isn't real. It's only pretend. You can't trust your imagination. That's not real. You got to come back to reality. Be realistic. This is the real world. What you're playing up here is pretend. Do you see what I mean? You came here already prepared to use your imagination. And again, I challenge any one of you. Do you remember a moment as a toddler being told how to play? How to play? And listen, don't go logical. Don't say, well, I was read instructions to the Monopoly game. Damn well that's not what I'm referring to. The very first time you picked up a baby doll or picked up a Care Bear, a G.I. Joe guy, a stuffed animal, and had some affinity with it and did the voices for it. We don't teach children how to imagine. They come here already prepared and doing it. What the muggles in the 3D do is then teach them that it's not real. And that's what we are unlearning here. We're unlearning that. We're learning that we can trust the imagination and that we should visit it as often as possible. And if we, with repetition, keep visiting the imagination and putting our focus, our attention, our awareness on who we want to be, the sooner all of this out here becomes what we want. So ask yourself, can you answer that question? Did somebody ever teach you how to pretend or how to play? Or Are you just like probably everybody else? You came here equipped to do it because it's what we were meant to do. Another thing Neville Goddard brings up, I don't have the direct quote in front of me, is what real sin is. Sin is missing the mark. Sin is not going after your desire. Sin is giving up. Sin is endlessly giving in to what your senses are telling you that you're experiencing in 3D reality and not allowing yourself to change. No, use the equipment that you came to this planet with, your imagination, and keep returning to it. And out here will take care of itself. What my hot seat group inspired today was talking about when we should trust circumstances. What circumstances are the ones that are a part of our manifestation, and what circumstances are just life happening? Every single thing you experience is a part of the unfolding of what you've been imagining or what version of self you've been choosing. Today, the example in the group was someone manifesting a lump sum of money, but with a yeah, but. I'm manifesting a lump sum of money. I'm experiencing all sorts of, well, she is experiencing all sorts of unfortunate financial struggles. And the yeah, but was, but I don't want to work my old second job. I don't want to go back to that job. Now, in one respect, and I said this in group, that on an innocence side of the house, you don't want to work the second job. You don't want to work the second job. I understand. Who wants to work 2 jobs, right? That I understand. But if the idea of the second job keeps coming in your mind, you don't know that maybe that's happening for a reason, meaning perhaps that is a part of the unfolding of your money manifestation. So you can't view reality as some things are about who you are, who you're choosing to be. Some experiences are, and some are unrelated. I mean, you can view your reality any way you want, but I think it would be most helpful if you would start viewing reality as number one, working for your benefit, working to bring you what you want. And quite frankly, what I do is I do practice what I preach. I give everything the meaning that it is a part of me getting what I want. And I cannot tell you how many examples of circumstances that my old self would have immediately labeled as unfavorable and not what I want, that absolutely has led me to exactly what I want. And not only that, even bigger connections in the orchestration of the unfolding of multiple desires. Everything is connected. Everything is. Because God, consciousness is everything. Don't lose sight of the fact that you are source too. I am too. Everyone viewing this is too. One God consciousness that we're all connected to. Everything out here you experience is leading you to your end. And yes, I know that there are some circumstances that are unfavorable, but they're unfavorable because the human logical part of us is giving it that label. But really, everything is neutral. So if we are manifesting and we already have a list of things we don't want to happen, yes, we're allowed to decide what experiences we want. But when we spend so much time listing all the experiences that we don't want, what are we doing? We're putting our focus, our awareness, exactly where we probably shouldn't have it if we don't want to experience things. Remember, your awareness is what determines your experience. What you're focused on consistently will be your experience out here. So this is why the idea is getting into the new habit of, number one, seeing that your reality is working for you, is working to benefit you. Number two, everything is leading you to your end. Everything is. Every single experience you have, even the mundane, even the things that look like they have zero connection to your manifestation, is somehow leading you there, is somehow a part of you having it, or is a circumstance that validates that you're in the reality where you will have your manifestation, that you are that version of yourself now. But don't look out at reality and immediately think or put your hands up to, nope, I don't like this. I don't want this. Now I'm afraid. We're allowed to decide what we like and don't like. That's not the message. I'm saying that the sooner you view circumstances and experiences as not a threat to you, the sooner we, lower the fear level, the sooner that shit can either completely get out of our reality or once again show you how it's leading you to exactly what you want, or in some way moving and shaping you to get your awareness on the version of yourself that can have the desire. And by have, it's not a question of you can have what you want. What I'm saying is reality is a reflection of who you believe you are. So having your awareness, your focus, your attention on not having what you want and it not working, or things are working against you, is not the version of self you want to be embodying. If you want to manifest money or manifest a specific person, the idea is to put your focus on who you want to be so that you receive the evidence of that in reality. That's what I mean by the version of you that can have it. And before I let you go, I cannot stress how you really are all of those versions of yourself right now. You are like the sun, and every single version of you is a sun ray. You notice those sun rays are all coming from the sun first. Those sun rays are coming out of you. So you already are all the infinite versions of you. So it's not like it has to take you a long time to put the focus on being the you want to be. You're in charge of your mind. Doesn't always feel like you are, but you are. So who are you focused on being right now? The version of you that doesn't have what you want, or the version of you who has exactly what he or she wants? It's a choice. So what are you choosing? What are you choosing? So on that note, I'll see you tomorrow.